Okay guys, let's move on to React Native. Guys, so what if you guys hear about React Native, what do you guys think about? I changed, it was gonna be Closure. I'll do Closure next week. I just want to learn about React Native. But hi Coconut Brain. Yeah, no. Chat, are you guys awake? Wake up! Just kidding. Even I'm not awake. If I'm not awake, you guys should not be awake. Where's my... Wait, let me go get my AC. Guys, while we guys talk about React Native, I'm gonna go get controller. Oh, 다리. Easy website building. It's native. Hi. Cross-platform. 나 오늘 좀 글씨 괜찮은데? Original React? What is original React? I think about parties and lavatories for React. I have no reaction. Okay, so let's read about React. It's an open source mobile application framework created by Facebook. So Facebook created this called, it's an open source. Did we ever talk about React? Native? I'm using, not to, we just talked about React, right? But not React Native. Right? Hi, Dr. Kobe! Wait, I barely can read the chat when I'm reading this, so we're gonna try to do this. Dr. Kobe, do you always come on Mondays? I feel like I'm swearing, but I'm like, I feel like you only come on Mondays now. So actually it's an open source. Most importantly, open source. Oh, thank you, Slice. You know, I should just use this to talk about it, since you guys maybe using this is easier. Because I always talk about using this anyways. Aww. Being busy sucks. So let's talk about React Native. So it is a open source, your favorite dark mode, guys. But can you guys read the chat text? This is better. Okay. So React Native is an open source mobile application framework created by Facebook. 역시 Facebook. Used to develop applications for Android, Android TV, iOS, macOS, tvOS, web, Windows, UWP. What is UWP? by enabling developers to use React's framework along with native platform capabilities. Oh, so React Native is actually hybrid, right? So the history comes to 2012. Mark Zuckerberg commented, the biggest mistake we made as a company was betting too much on HTML as opposed to native. Using HTML5 for Facebook mobile version resulted in an unstable application that retrieved data slowly. Keyword slowly. 역시. He promised Facebook would soon deliver a better mobile experience. I never thought Facebook had a bad mobile UI UX, right? Inside Facebook, Jordan Walk found a way to generate UI elements for iOS from a background JavaScript thread, which became the basis for the React web framework. So Jordan 오빠.
Facebook is still terrible law.
누구님 어서 오세요. Generate UI element for iOS. Really? Let me just check Facebook mobile. Really? I don't mind Facebook. Oh, it does load slowly. 와, 이거 이쁘다. Maybe it is a bit slow. You work with Facebook? What do you do that makes you work with Facebook? They decide to organize an internal hackathon to perfect this prototype in order to be able to build native apps with this technology. Oh. Hackathon. After months of development, Facebook released the first version for the React JavaScript configuration in 2015. During a technical talk, Christopher Opa, oh my god, sorry, explained that Facebook was already using React Native in production for their group app and their ads manager app. So Facebook was already using React Native. So I guess in 2015, So in 2015 was actually when it's developed. So it's been on for 6 years, right? Oh, really? Oh. So implementation, the working principle of React Native are virtually identical to React. So React is also from, so I guess it started with React Web Framework for Facebook, and then they moved on to React Native for Android, iOS. So can we say that React is for web, and React Native is for phone, right? The working principle of React Native are virtually identical to React, except that React Native does not manipulate the DOM via the virtual DOM. It runs in the background process, which interprets the JavaScript written by the developers directly on the end device and communicates with the native platform via serialized data over the... What is this? What is this? Where's my mouse? What is synchronous and sync? What is this, guys? How do you even pronounce this? synchronous and batched bridged. So this is a computer asynchronous. Async for short. Also, what is this supposed to do? Refers to the occurrence of events independent of the main program flow. Refers to the occurrence of events independent of the main program flow and way to deal with such event. Oh. And batched bridge, which is job that can run without end user interaction. Oh. Or it can be scheduled to run as resource permit. So async means things happen in a non-linear order. Ah, synchronized. So is it different in programming term, or is it still the same? Maybe it's the same. Anyways, the React component wraps existing native code and interact with native API via React's declarative UI paradigm and JavaScript. While React Native styling has a similar syntax to CSS, it does not use HTML or CSS. Instead, messages from the JavaScript thread are used to manipulate native news. Native also allows developers to write native code in language such as Java or Kotlin. For Android, Objective-C, and Swift for iOS, C#, C# for Windows, which makes them even more flexible. So it is very flexible. Oh. Opposite of sync. Sync means you complete one task after another in sequential order. So in here, so Microsoft builds and maintains React Native for Windows and React Native for Mac OS. So Hello World is going to look like this. So you import React from React. Import app registry text from React Native. So you gotta import both React and React Native, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. They created a constant, right? This is a constant. Called Hello World app. Which will display a text called Hello World. And then you export the created constant Hello World app. You get exported, right? So in my image, if this is a sorry, not Facebook. This is a phone. Oops, sorry guys. If this is a phone, you know, we'll do the old iPhone. This is a phone. All it's gonna have using this is just gonna say Hello World. Oops, exclamation point. Right? Hey, that's a good phone. Shush. It's not Tamagotchi. Oh, very simple 인데? Skip the slide if using create React Native app. So you're registering the app Hello World by using the code you created in the Hello World app constant. So maybe this isn't really a constant. It's actually like a... Or is it a constant? 아, 이거 너무 어렵다. The React Native code can also be imported from another component with the following code. Ah, const means it will be set once and never changed. Ah, so it's actually not what we think of constant. Oh. So this means one set and never changed. Because I'm not changing text. So can you create multiple what does it, what's the long form? Oh, so variable versus const구나. React Native code can also be imported from another component with the following code. Imported from another component? What is another component in this case? So we're importing... we can import other components we created onto this and combine it. So it's actually, maybe it actually stands for consistent. Don't you think so? So this is to import and combine. So this is actually similar to more Python, right? And has more packages. Right? See also, multiple phone web-based application framework, native scripts, etc, etc. This has been going on for 6 years, and the what do I want to say? The information is very small. Like, there's nothing much to read about. 5 months ago? Oh, okay. So people, I uploaded a question couple of days. Read the docs instead of like Wikipedia. Yeah, but docs is much harder to understand, I feel like. Don't you think so? For someone like me. Let's read their website then. Let's check their website out. Get started. No. If you want to know like the basic information about React Native, I feel like docs don't really include it. But so create native apps using Android. Okay. So this is actually written in JavaScript, right? So what other apps are created using React Native? It's sad that they don't have much information. And also another thing, Discord? Really? So Discord is Instagram. Wow. Where can you find React Native information? Information about like 그러니까 so my question is, since okay, so React Native is kind of based on packages, right? So you bring pre-made package onto your code and open it. I don't know how you have to think about it when you're creating like an app, because if you have an app, like let's say this is your main page. like you will have like multiple landing page, right? Like, let's say this is about like if you think about Twitch, they're gonna have your landing page, like my Twitch Jinri TV landing page. There's gonna be like, I don't know, like Lessa landing page. 뭐 Julia landing page. 뭐 etc. So if you were to create like a code to do that, how does it work? Like, is it in like a for loop and it just creates multiple landing pages? And if you want to connect one landing page to another landing page, how does that work? Oh, why is coding so hard? No wonder you guys get paid a lot, right? So it's like routing. So you know how currently our page has multiple programs right now, where we have you know, like the about page, contribution, etc. 뭐 So every streamer has their own coding that's created automatically. Wow. And then I also wanted to compare, so there are competitors for React Native, because I've got the people say React Native versus, who are their competitors? Probably, since this can work for hybrid as in iOS and Android. So anything, any programming language that works for both, right? Hybrid. For instance, there's the one that Google created. Google's mobile app creator called, what is this one called? Swift. Right. So, and then what are other hybrid language? Flutter. Thank you, Scyther. Not Swift. Flutter. What are some other hybrid languages out there that will be a competitor for React Native? Heyo? Is that a language? Did you listen to my question? So even considering Flutter versus React, I guess, so now it ends up being kind of like a company fight, right? Ionic? Where's Ionic from? I can Google Ionic. Oh, I heard about Ionic too. Node.js isn't. Is it? Is Node.js also? Electron? Is that the company or like a code? Cordova Xamarin? How the hell do you pronounce that one? So if you were to pick out of these, thank you for the stretch. There you go. If you were to pick out of the 5, what would you use the most? Like, what would be considered the one to use? D1. Like right now you have to build an app. A platform. What would you use? Right? Cause React Native luckily is on JavaScript, JS. Right? I think Ionic is also on JS. I don't know about these other three. Electron isn't mobile. Are you mobile? Easy to learn. I don't know, I guess the best. Like, what does React Native have that people use this more than others? Cause I don't know how old Flutter is, but I think a lot of, like Discord used React. Discord used React. Well, Instagram, like you guys said, Instagram used React. Then why would people pick React Native more than other ones? Like, what are the benefits? Probably the benefit would be a large community. And JS, I think, would be a big benefit. That one you C#? Okay. Oh, okay. What are other things that people find it interesting to use? This one is an Oasis. More library. But I heard also React Native might be slower than other ones. That makes sense. No wonder why Facebook is having a hard time too, right? With the speed. Having a hard time with speed. Speed? Do I want to say speed or... So in conclusion, what I think about React Native, we don't even know why it's called React Native, but performance. Thank you. Performance. So my conclusion for this is, I guess if you want to develop an app, and JS, and you need lots of libraries. You should use this. Use this. Right? I think that would be a good conclusion to make then, personally. But the fact that mobile hasn't been out for long, so I guess the mobile that does all this is probably Apple 2008, right? Apple comes out with the new phone, right? Apple phone. So having this have been a 6 year is probably one of the longest program out there related to app, maybe. So, but coding, I think this one is very similar to Python. I don't know if that I've never used other apps, but like what someone said when we're like loading packages or like importing, very similar. Seems simpler than other languages. Maybe it's just because I just saw Hello World, but I don't think it's not that bad. So I guess my ending question is, if they have such a good like app developing platformy language, why is Facebook having a hard time with their apps? Right? So yeah. Good luck. Good luck. The end.